Hello everyone. I had other ideas that I was going to make this video about. I had actually made a list of potential video ideas, but I didn't really feel like doing any of the videos that were on that list. Um, and I apologize that I didn't make a video earlier this week. I've been sick and under the weather and just not feeling well at all. And I still don't feel well, but I figured I should make a video anyway because I'd like to meet my goal of making a video each week. So anyway, while I was thinking about a topic, I eventually settled on the idea of why don't I make a video about thinking in and of itself. And I began to think about ways that I've perceived myself throughout my lifetime, and I have noticed that it seems different from other people just based on what I've observed. And keep in mind, this is purely theoretical. This is just my theory, and there's probably no scientific research behind it, but I was just wanting to throw it out there to see if anyone else could relate to this. But I always find that I find myself thinking in ways that it almost seems where I sort of depersonalize from myself. I like to think of it as super self-realization. That's what I've called it. And this may not be exclusive to Aspies. Who knows, everyone might think this way, but I don't know. People just don't seem like it. But I find myself just so deep in thought that I find myself contemplating about life and my place in the world to a point where I sort of depersonalize from my own body and find myself referring to myself in the third person. So instead of what is my purpose in life, it becomes what is his purpose in life. And it's just really weird. And I know depersonalization is a symptom of really extreme depression, but I've been doing this like my whole life. Like even before I got depressed or anything, like when I was a blissful, happy child, I still did this. So one way that I thought of maybe being able to describe it in a visual sense is by using a map of the Earth, namely under the ground, all the way to the core. So I'd like to say that maybe when people have conversations, just normal, everyday conversations, when you see them talking in groups at a table, I like to think of that as maybe like the crust of the Earth in terms of, I guess, depth as far as thinking goes. So that would be the crust of the Earth, and when a person is thinking about, what do I want to have for dinner tonight? Do I need to go to the grocery tomorrow? You can maybe call that the mantle. It's thinking, but it's not really like a deep intellectual type of thinking. And then there's the thought process of, what is my place in life? Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? And I like to think of that as the outer core. But I think there's another type of thinking, and this may or may not be exclusive to Aspies, I don't know, but I've noticed it in myself. And this type of super self-realization I would refer to as the inner core. It's thinking so deep to a point where I seem to step outside of my body and I guess look at the universe and looking at life from the outside. And FYI, I've never done drugs, and I've always been like this, and I don't know, maybe maybe it's easier to think this way when under the influence of some kind of drug, but I haven't needed any, so I was just throwing this out there and seeing if anyone else could relate, or if this is just something I've just made up completely. But let me know what you think of this.